A very beautiful day to you. Welcome to another segment of newspaper review on First Next News. I am Cassie Tony, and with me in the studio is Kings Ojalo. Hello, Kings.
Hello, Cassie.
Hope you had a good night rest.
Of course, thank you.
You look amazing.
Thank you so much.
All right, moving to Punch newspaper, boldly written. Investigation uncovers coup who plotted Tinubu's outer. You find that on page 2 of the newspaper. On top of the newspaper, discuss blame low generation as grill collapses third time. You find that on page 23. Presidency downplays Tinubu's stumble, says Turkey visit on course. You find that on page 2 of the newspaper. Wike threatens workers as court orders strike suspension. You find that on page 7. How I lost 3-week-old daughter to Makoko demolition. That is coming from a carpenter. You find that on page 4 and page 5. This is really sad. Moving ahead to the Daily Trust. Boldly written, Nigeria, Turkey sign pact on counter-terrorism. On top of the newspaper, primary school teachers awarded 50 million naira house and car. Questions as international grid collapsed 3 times in 1 month. Petrol hits 880 naira per litre as Dangote adjusts price. Sit at home. Traders protest Onitsha market closure. Nigeria under Tinubu worse than military regime. That's coming from article. Alright, King Sujalo, over to you. Nigeria, Turkey signed pact on counter-terrorism. What do you have to say about this?
It's very simple and clear. I think yes, our president on his trip to Turkey. I think this is the purpose which he has gone there. I think is a means whereby there's a deal or negotiation between Nigeria and Turkey now in order to fight the terrorism situation we've been encountering in this country so far. So okay. I think this is the time where our president is taking a bold step in order to tackle the menace. But it's not just by taking the step; it's also by implementing it. Okay. So Nigeria are hoping to find peace of mind. Yes. By this move our president has taken. So I believe one of these days we'll start hearing abolishment of terrorism around the country, and terrorism has totally come to an end in Nigeria.
Exactly, so that all these insecurity
peace
problems,
will reign, exactly. So
and we'll have freedom of movement. You can go out and then you come back at whatever time you so pleases.
The rate at which people are being kidnapped in worship centers, farm, schools. So I think this is where Nigeria will start seeing changes in those aspects. All
right, Tinubu is working. Strike continues. Fcta workers tells Wike. Strike continues. Wike is trending this period.
Of course, he is. Well, if you look at this news headline, he has also come out to clarify that there was he has deposited, I think, 20 billion in that for concerning that situation. Yeah. He also said that those protesters were not actually protesters; they were actually hoodlums hijacked by probably oppositions and thereabouts. That was the statement he made. But nevertheless, I think I'm urging the FCTAs to really take that road down the strike, so that workforce will take place again in Abuja. Yeah. You understand? We don't know Abuja is the federal capital of the territory of Nigeria. So if there should be an active state, more active state in Nigeria currently should be Abuja. You understand? So I think settlement should be done with immediate effect.
Okay, moving ahead to the next newspaper, Voice of Liberty. Boldly written, no one can defeat Tinubu in 2027. That's coming from Article's Son. Then on top of the newspaper, power supply disrupted nationwide as national grid collapses again. Still in the same newspaper, FG takes giant leap in defense manufacturing with Turkey's deal. Still in the newspaper, Christians in the north are not safe. That's coming from ex-House of Assembly Speaker Dogara warns as Christians' adoption persists. This adoption in the north is really bothersome, like
And
it's
so crucial.
yes,
Yeah.
meaning that Christians are not safe to go to church.
Well, the rate of insecurity is not just hindering the Christians only. It's both for the both side, or more or less all religions are really facing it.
But the Muslims are not being, it's not so rampant. The Muslims are not being attacked like the Christians.
Now check it in. If you recall, when it was in the abduction in Kebbi State, that's school that students were adopted. The majority of them, as a matter of fact, was all Muslims. You
but it's
understand?
not as much as the Christians.
But if you look at this, the essence of the statement of Dogara speaking, we all know it's from the northeast.
Okay.
So he is speaking from observation and from crucial news that usually grab attention of the federation concerning Christian killings are there about. You understand? But in my own emphasis, you understand, is in all areas. You understand? Yes, Christians are more or less more affected.
Yeah.
We all know that. But we are talking about insecurity that is affecting the federation right now. So not trying to pull out one religion. But nevertheless, just as we saw earlier on, I think our president is taking a bold step in order to tackle the menace. So we are hoping for good news anytime soon.
Tinubu is working. Moving to the next newspaper, Daily Independent. Atiku, Aregbesola, Mark say Tinubu's administration was in decades. Still in the same newspaper, Sage Okorie criticized Soludo's closure of Onitsha market. You find it on page 7. Resume work or face sanction. Wike tells striking FCT workers. That's on page 29. Power crisis. FG raises 501 billion naira bond to clear debt burden. You find that on page 7. Expert flags climate smart farming, others as key to food security. So I'll be handing over to my colleague Kings Ojalo. Over to you, Kings.
Thank you so much, Cassie. Moving ahead, on the Guardian newspaper, we have on the Guardian newspaper, ADC hosts opposition show of force, unity push ahead of 2027. Find that at page 6 of that newspaper platform. Still on that, National Grid bounces back after crashing to 39 megawatts. You find that in page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. We still have on that same newspaper platform, Tinubu seek Senate node for health bills, more judges. Find that in page 3 as well. Cool. Apologies to Nigeria for initial denials. Falana tells military. Find that in page 3 as well. Now moving to the New Telegraph. On the New Telegraph newspaper, boldly written as National Grid collapses second time in 4 days. LCCI says it's now economic emergency. Now on the top we have Tinubu asks Senate to amend Federal High Court Act, raise justice to 90. Find that in page 5 and 6. Politicians have hijacked FCT strike. Wike, that is coming from the FCT minister. I find that in page 4 and 7. We also have by election, Fubara refuts allegation of supporting ADC candidates. You find that in page 2 and 5. Now, on the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we have court reject Nnamdi Kanu's request for transfer from Sokoto prison. You find that in page 6 and 30 of that newspaper platform. Now, looking at the Vanguard newspaper, on the Vanguard newspaper, body written in page 5, FG Northern leaders, lawyers differ on amnesty for terrorists. Still on that, page 13, 2027, APC leaders receive Montfort offer him automatic ticket. That is in page 13 of that newspaper platform. Now moving to Osun State, Osun local government tenure disputes. Adeleke APC trade words. Find that in page 10. Now still on that, sad one there. Bandit kill 2, adopt over 50 women in Katsina community. Now on the top, 2027 polls won't be decided by equipessy. You find that in page 8. Custom duty violation. Court orders for future of private aircraft to federal government.
All right, we've come to the end of the newspaper review. Many thanks to you, Kings Ojalo, for joining us. I remain your amazing host, Kasitoni.
And I am Kings Ojalo.
Do have a pleasant day.